and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a brand new beer from Lords. Yeah, this is a brand new beer. It's called Ban 1 from Lords Brewing Co. It only felt right to wear my new merch tee that I got from them earlier today in the same box that this came in. I did an unboxing video for that, link up there if you want to see what else came. But yeah, this is their new one. It's called Ban 1. I know it's inspired by Smokey and the Bandit. That was the license plate of the key car in that film. And it's an American Pale Ale made in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire, and it's 6%. Don't really know much else about it. I've kind of avoided watching anyone else's reviews of this because, well, I wanted to review it myself, but I heard a lot of people just say they really, really like it. So I thought it was a good idea to buy 12. Not sure why, but sometimes you just got to go all in. So before we crack this open, here is a quick look at the can. And the Ban 1 plate on the back there as well. Let's get this open. Phenomenal looking colour, that. Nice and deep. I'm getting some peachy aromas from a distance, but it's a bit vague, so I'm not entirely sure. Right. How does she sniff? Ooh, fruity. Proper American Pale Ale, but maybe it's going to be a bit sweeter. I'm hoping, well, I say I'm hoping, I think it's going to be a little bit less bitter, a bit more forgiving. It smells like it's going to be a very well-rounded American Pale Ale. It's got that quintessential classic bag of kind of sweet lemon, bitter grapefruit. Maybe a bit of pineapple in there. Hop aroma comes through quite thick and fast. Definitely a bit piney, and there is a note right on the back end there that I recognise, but I can't recall. It's not something I've smelt in a beer recently, that's for sure. It's something else, something slightly medicinal. The kind of the herby bit from Jägermeister, that kind of thing. It's really subtle and in the back. I mean, you're not going to instantly go, "This smells like Jägermeister" when you pick it up or anything like that. It's just a real tinge of something like that in there. Right, let's get into this. Cheers. Well, I sure am glad I bought 12. That has got a lot going on. One of the bits of information I had heard prior to reviewing this about this beer was that people said it was a little flat. Now, I generally prefer flatter beers than heavy carbonated beers, but I'm going to go out on a whim and say you could up it a tiny bit for me. I mean, it is quite still for this style, but I'm kind of enjoying that. Flatter American Pale Ales aren't normally a thing. So I'm quite enjoying that distinction on this. But say next batch, yeah, could tweak it a bit, but I'm not hating that element of it, if I'm honest. Nice, thick, creamy head, moves around the glass very nicely. Looks like a really well poured pint, that, and it's just come out of a can. I mean, this is pretty fresh, as this is brand new, that might be why. So let's try and pick out some tasting notes. Just before I do, actually, I just want to say that Lords have a real continuity about beer styles that I'm not all that mad on. So the review before this was also a Lords one, but not from the same box, which was their Mount Helix West Coast Pale. That's much more sharper than this, shall we say. It's a bit more traditional, and that's still not a, but these are both styles that I generally, unless I'm doing a review, won't pick up to drink on my own at home. But they have this habit of producing these styles that I initially start to think, yeah, it's just that traditional bag, and I end up loving them, and that is happening with this more so than the Mount Helix by a long way. This has got a real balance to it that is just spectacular. Now, to those tasting notes. Initially, the tiniest bit bitter across the front of the tongue, but you don't really notice it. That goes into kind of lemon, grapefruit explosion with some associated bitterness. That's where the bitterness really comes in, right in the middle, across the middle of the tongue. Then it gets cleaned out, more citrus flavours, but kind of the sweeter, sweet lemon, pineapple. I don't think there's any mango in there. I think it's more those kind of more citric heavy fruits, and there is some malt profile left at the back, which is something you don't get in a lot of these types of beer. It's not huge, it's not biscuity or anything like that. There's just a distinct bit of grain kind of on the finish that's a nice change. So I feel like this is going to be a really interesting can to look at, given the design and the backstory on it. So we'll come back to this in a minute after we've had a look at the can. Lord's Brewing Co. For the money, for the glory, and for the fun, mostly for the money. I believe that's a quote from the film. 6% ABV, American Pale Ale, made in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire, Ban 1. It's an APA, American Pale Ale, brewed at Lord's Brewing Company, Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. There's a tiny bit dripping off the can and onto my finger. Let's just make sure I've got all of that in there. Ingredients are water, malted barley, malted wheat. Contains gluten, yeast, Dana, Centennial, Euconaut and Eldorado hops. Best before seed. There's beer hiding in this can. I don't know how it's doing that. Best before the 14th of the 10th, 22. So for point of reference, it is May 21. And what, this has to have been brewed a week ago? Sorry, this has to have been brewed a month ago, I would have thought, given it's not absolutely brand new. So that is a really long shelf life. That is impressive, guys. I want to know how you manage that. That's really impressive. So it says, Lord's Brewing Co. A smooth tropical hit with an unmistakable notes of mango and ripe papaya. I got that wrong. A soft bitterness, a silky mouthfeel and jubilant fruity aroma. Ban 1 is a tribute to legends and childhood heroes, a film introduced to me by my father, created a lifelong passion for fast cars and thrill-seeking lifestyle. We ask that all of the people who drink this beer raise a glass and give a big 10-4 good buddy to those heroes in your life, past and present. 10-4 good buddy. I mean, according to this, I really messed up the taste profile. I was definitely getting more citric, heavy citrus fruits, which sounds a bit of an oxymoron, I know. But as with all these beers, they often change after they've been sat still for a minute. So let's come back to it and see what we think. Sweetened up on the nose. Starting to... I think I'm starting to smell the booze a bit on the nose now. It's 6%, so it's potent but not silly. Also getting a bit of the creaminess of the wheat. It is quite a hazy beer. The nose is becoming reminiscent of kind of wheat heavy beers, but just with obviously a very different kind of fruit profile. But otherwise it's pretty much the same. And on the taste, I've got to be honest, for me I'm just getting the grapefruit, kind of that traditional bag. It's sweeter than most beers of that style that are kind of grapefruit lemon leaning, which is maybe where that's come from, but it's not got that sickly sweet ripeness for me of mango and papaya. But that said, that is a cracking beer, and as I said, it's not a beer style I would normally drink on my own, so buying 12 was a bit of a risk, but it has indeed paid off. This is a corker. So I don't really have anything else to say about it. That's a cracker. Congratulations, well deserved to everyone at Lord's for that one. And I'm going to go and finish this in peace. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it if you haven't already subscribed, if you will be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.